Previously on X-Men.
Cyclops.
Wolverine.
Rogue.
Storm.
Beast. Gambit.
Jubilee.
Jean. Come on, let's go.
Okay, so extremely casually, a tornado warning in my area for the next, couple hours here. But you know, what better way to die than talking about all the X-Men films? I mean, hands down, one of the most underwhelming franchises of all time. Let's just have our house ripped to shreds and at the same time talk about this terrible, underwhelming franchise. Yeah, here we go. X-Men ranked worst to best. I've done every single movie so far in this very, underwhelming franchise. We've done an episode on everything. I'll link that down below in the show notes. But today is really the final installment in this series, the absolute incredible series finale. We're going through every single X-Men movie, including the Deadpool Wolverine film that came out a couple weeks ago. And I am definitely a little bit sad to, say goodbye to the series. It's been a little bit of a defying journey for us on the show. And it's going to be a little bit sad to, step away from it. But at the same time, I'm happy that I don't need to say X-Men every single day for the next couple weeks. It's going to be, a very, fun and also very sad send-off, but one that I'm definitely happy to get away from. So, yes, that's right. Every single X-Men movie ranked from worst to best, and I have all 14 films here. I'll release the full list. It's going to be on my letterbox. You can just go see it there. But yeah, all 14 movies ranked from worst to best, including Deadpool Wolverine. Here we go. Most of these are pretty mid, not going to lie, so I don't have a lot to say. But still, I love all these films a teeny bit, and I definitely do appreciate all of them a teeny bit. But, some more than others. Okay, so starting off here from worst to best. Also, when we get over to Deadpool Wolverine, I'm not going to spoil it, at all, really. I mean, it just came out. I know, everyone's seen it at this point, but, for the two people who haven't seen Deadpool Wolverine, one, what are you doing? And two, I'll just spare you by not spoiling it that much. Okay, but starting off with the worst movie, number 14, I have The New Mutants. There's not a lot to say about this movie, besides that it just isn't that good at all. This film came out in 2020, number one, 2020, a very bad year. But number two, this is the last movie over at Fox for the X-Men, kind of sitting there collecting dust on the shelf. Kevin Feige didn't have a lot to do with it, so he just released it just because, why not? I think New Mutants definitely has a lot of potential to be a great film. I do still want them to do this later on in the MCU. I think a New Mutants movie that's done right with good actors, good writers, good screenplay, it could really be really good for the MCU and a film that could definitely fit perfectly into the universe. But for right now, this one, terrible, half a star out of 5. I wouldn't even recommend you watch it, but if you want to, I told you not to. So that's all I have to say about it. At number 13, I have the one, the only Dark Phoenix from 2019. I gave this film a 1 out of 5 stars. This movie just really should have never happened. It's very sad watching it because I watch it and I see just how good this universe could have been. I mean, you have Sophie Turner, James McAvoy, Nicholas Hoult, Michael Fassbender, Evan Peters as well. You have a lot of great actors in these movies, in these roles. The next gen of X-Men movies should have been good. They should have been really good films. You had so much to work with, so much of a bigger budget as well. I'm not sure how they messed it up this bad, but it's still very impressive to see them fumble harder and worse than Last Stand. Maybe one day we'll finally have a good interpretation of Dark Phoenix, but until then, they just haven't been able to figure it out. But Kevin Feige, I trust him to do it good. At number 12, I have X-Men Origins Wolverine. This movie came out in 2009. It's a little bit of a childhood throwback for me. I'll admit it's not that good, but at the same time, I love it. A lot of nostalgia with this movie for me, and I will always love it a teeny bit. Now, that being said, is it bad? Yes. I mean, Hugh Jackman gave it his all. Lee Schreiber gave it his all as well. But also, you have really bad things in here, Will.i.am. Also, Ryan Reynolds' Deadpool was really cool, but yet again, they did him dirty, didn't know how to do Deadpool. So, there's that. I mean, I'm happy seeing that we got this film justice. I mean, this movie is just so much of a legacy at this point, being that bad, that it's just remembered so fondly for being that terrible. It's, beautiful in a very weird way. It's not good. I give it 1.5 out of 5, but do I love it? Does it have a place in my heart? Yes, absolutely. And for number 11, I'll give it to X-Men The Last Stand. This movie is really bad, and at the same time, the third act is also really cool as well. But, overall, once again, just like with Dark Phoenix, it's really sad watching this movie, knowing how good it could have been, but it just, at the end of the day, didn't really live up to anything at all. The Dark Phoenix storyline, very watered down, not done good at all, but still somewhat better than what they did with the most recent one in 2019. This film is, once again, another, childhood-defining movie. FX played this movie 20 times a day. The third act for this film also really, really cool. A lot of fun moments. Hugh Jackman's the GOAT as well. So, I mean, there's not a lot to hate on that front. This film overall is still really good. I still enjoy it. Still has a place in my heart. But once again, I still gave it 2.5 out of 5. I can't say recommend it, but it's one that I still appreciate. All right, so with all of that fluff out of the way, time to go into our top 10 discussion here. Top 10, getting a teeny bit serious, but still not that serious at all. At number 10, I have X-Men Apocalypse. This one I defended for like a very long time. A lot of years of my life I spent defending X-Men Apocalypse. I thought X-Men Apocalypse, this is the film that's really, really good. I thought this movie was incredible, but then I rewatched it recently. I realized that it's not. I still love Oscar Isaac. I still love Michael Fassbender. I still love James McAvoy. I still love a lot about this film. I love that it's pretty much like an X-Men 97, but in live action, but yet a lot worse. So, there's things that are really good and also really bad with this movie, but still, it's a fun time. It is very noticeably not that good and definitely a very big step down, but I still think that it is entertaining to a degree, but I was still also very, very bored watching it. I gave it 2.5 out of 5, but it's a fun 2.5 out of 5. I definitely still have fun with it. I could see myself rewatching this film, like, maybe bi-yearly, biannually, could work for X-Men Apocalypse, but it's one that I could definitely tell you, it's not really worth the time all the way, but you'll still maybe have a good time if you want to. At number 9, I have a movie that is definitely very interesting. That one is X-Men 2000. This is the movie that really did it for the X-Men franchise. This is the one right here. This really kicked off everything. One of the first, superhero movies out there. And it is a really fun movie. It does a lot good. It isn't at all exactly perfect. And it doesn't really do the best at being exactly comic accurate. And still, you have Hugh Jackman and Patrick Stewart and Ian McKellen really being the main forefront of this universe. And yes, I love Wolverine. I love Magneto. I love Professor X. But they're not the main people in this universe. That has been one of the biggest mistakes of this entire franchise so far, is that they're afraid to branch out. I know there's a lot of characters, there's a lot of people to go through, but still, these three being the main ones is really good, but at the same time really hinders the movie, and also on top of that, just having a overall not the greatest screenplay, and also kind of meh CGI, but still, the film's fun. I gave it 3 out of 5. It's not exactly terrible, but still a lot better than what we've seen before. And also, it's iconic. It's a classic. You can never really beat it. You can never go wrong with X-Men 2000. It's one that I definitely appreciate. Not exactly my childhood, but one that I still have a little bit of love for. And then number 8, I have X2 from 2003. This one also isn't really my childhood, a little bit too early for me, but one that I still also appreciate. It's still really fun, still a fun time. Definitely a step up from the original movie, and one that I could definitely find myself enjoying a lot. And once again, a case of a kind of messy CGI, messy screenplay. The acting is here, so. Hugh Jackman also, once again, the real forefront of the movie. And, yeah, it has struggles, but once again, it's iconic, it's fun, I can never get enough of it. It's, just fun early 2000s movies, especially superhero movies at that time, were a whole ton of fun. This one, no different. And then number 7, I have a movie that I, once again, really, really love. A little bit of nostalgia, but, it's kind of so kind of a step down. That one is Deadpool 2, the movie that I definitely think had a lot of potential. I mean, David Leitch, Ryan Reynolds, they tried their best to really step up from the original. I mean, yeah, you have a bigger budget, more characters, but it's just not that good. It's still very, very underwhelming. Really much so a step down from the first one. Not exactly a bad movie. I can still watch it. It's not unbearable, but it's still just 3.5 out of 5. 7 out of 10. Not a terrible movie, but one that definitely should be better. And Deadpool 2 isn't even unbearable to watch. I can watch it on a Saturday and have fun, but yet, I can't deny that there's definitely a very large step down from the first one, and it just makes me not really want to watch it. I could watch a movie that's, a little bit older than this one, a lot better, more iconic. So why don't I just watch the first Deadpool movie instead of this one? It's a very hard discussion for me to have myself, but at the end of the day, I'd rather go Deadpool 1 than Deadpool 2. But Deadpool 2 isn't even that terrible. Then over at number 6, I have another movie here from 2013, The Wolverine. This one is a whole ton of fun, a very much so step up from the first Origins movie. This one was definitely them going back and doing things a better way, a right way for Hugh Jackman's Wolverine, and one that I definitely very, very much so appreciate. But would I rather have a different kind of X-Men movie, an X-Men film with, a different kind of X-Men character, like Iceman, or even Rogue solo movie? I don't know, would be kind of cool. Yes, I'd rather have something like that instead than another Wolverine film. I do appreciate him Hugh Jackman is an incredible actor, and also James Mangold, really good in this one as well as a director. But I still have to say, I'd rather have something a little bit different than another Hugh Jackman Wolverine solo movie. I mean, you just have so many different characters to branch out to, like Gambit as well. We saw him in Deadpool 2. He definitely is very much so a fan favorite now. I mean, Channing Tatum had his time to really do that character justice, but Fox never gave him a chance. Instead, they gave Hugh Jackman like 5 movies as Wolverine instead of one Gambit movie. And now, who knows if Channing Tatum will ever even come back for that role. I think he may, but until then, we'll have to see. But still, Wolverine 2013, it's definitely a much better movie, definitely a much better film for the Wolverine, a step up from the origins, but one that still is kind of messy, kind of a dumb plot, but still has fun action, all that good stuff that I want in these movies, and it does it very well. But still, it's good, but it's not great. It's not terrible either. I give it 3.5 out of 5, 7 out of 10. I could watch it and still have fun with it, but once again, why would I watch the Wolverine when I could just watch Logan? That's all I'm saying. It's not a bad movie, but there's also Logan out there, so I might as well just watch that. Okay, and going into the top 5 discussion here, very, very serious here, very, very serious here discussion. We have at number 5, I have Deadpool and Wolverine. This one is a very good movie, came out most recently. I won't spoil it that much. My opinions for it still stand. I did my own episode on it previously. I'll kind of echo from that what I said here. It's a fun time. They made promises, they delivered on those promises, but is it that good of a movie on its own? I say no. Really does profit off of the nostalgia and cameos, which isn't exactly a bad thing, but still the same critiques that I would give, like Ant-Man and Wasp: Quantumania, I would get to this movie. They're kind of like the same film here. Deadpool and Wolverine, Ant-Man 3, both similar movies, but one is just more funnier and more fun than the other one. That isn't exactly how we should be critiquing these movies. Yes, I'll admit, Deadpool and Wolverine, very fun. Have I been listening to Bye 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 on repeat since I saw it? Yes. But the film just isn't even that good of a movie. There's definitely a lot of mistakes in there, very sloppy. Did I have fun? Yes, but at the cost of the film not really being good. Like I said before, the villain in the movie, she's an incredible actress. She definitely had a lot of potential, but she gets watered down and turns to a plot device. Little things like that is what makes the film, yes, an enjoyable movie, but also just one that I can't really sign off on that much. There's definitely plenty of critiques online about what Deadpool and Wolverine does good and bad. Is this film a lot better than all the other X-Men movies? Yes, absolutely. But is it, kind of underwhelming and kind of disappointing? Yes, also, yes, very much so. So, Deadpool and Wolverine, number 5. Number 4, I have X-Men First Class. Once again, iconic, classic, just really a good movie, a great film before it is a great superhero film, which is what makes it really, really good. And just like I said with like all the other X-Men films, FX had this movie playing like at least 10 times a day, and I've seen it like at least 20 times in my entire life. So, a teeny bit of nostalgia for me. I saw it in theaters, saw it at home a ton, and I still love it at 20 years old, and I always will. I mean, X-Men First Class is number 1, very beginner friendly. You don't need to know like everything about Professor X and Magneto to know and love this movie. You can walk out of it loving it without knowing anything at all. That's a very big plus for me. And also number 2 is that X-Men First Class is not a very big, massive multiverse movie or a big Avengers level movie. It's a very much so fun and grounded level X-Men film that isn't that big, which is very good. It's very consumer friendly, not that much exposition fat for one big apocalypse story. It's good, it's fun, it's a prequel. I enjoyed the acting, I enjoy everything about it, and it will always be a plus for me. So yes, it's number 4, it's iconic, it's incredible, but it's not as good as number 3, which may be a little bit controversial, but for number 3, Deadpool 2016, this one's iconic, it's a classic. This one really did shape my middle school experience. Everyone saw it in middle school and we shouldn't have, and it's a whole ton of fun. It's fun, it's very grounded, some random small shitty little budget that works so well. If I had to watch Deadpool 2016 for the rest of my life, I wouldn't be that upset because it's just that good, just that brilliant, just that simple, yet just that effective. And I think Deadpool 1 compared to Deadpool 2 and 3, what makes it the best in this entire trilogy is that it doesn't need to do a lot. It doesn't need to. It's a very simple Deadpool story, very much so a Deadpool story, no budget, works very well, great fight choreography, very simple story, and that's what makes it really good. Back to the basics, back to the bare bones. Bigger isn't always better, and that's definitely shown in Deadpool 2 and 3. Well, I guess that may be wrong. Bigger may sometimes be better with like our example here at number 2 being X-Men Days of Future Past. This movie I didn't exactly love. I still don't exactly love this movie as much as everyone else, but I just have to admit, for what Days of Future Past did and what it did for the community, what it did for these characters, this movie really is deserving of the number 2 spot. You already know what number 1 is, but still, X-Men, Days of Future Past, this one I still have to respect. I do think this film can be surpassed very easily, but still, this film is very good. Great characters, great score, great costume design, really merging the reboot and also the original trilogy together is absolutely beautiful. A great way to reset this timeline, and one that they definitely really should have capitalized on. I'm not sure how they fumbled the bag that bad with the future X-Men movies after this one, but still, Days of Future Past is a great definitive ending to this universe, to these characters, and one that I'll always appreciate. But at number 1, the real best X-Men film, and also one of the best films really ever made, I have Logan, 2017, the incredible neo-noir masterpiece that it is. This one is just really good. It's not even fair. It's in a league of its own. This movie is just overall very good. I yapped about it a ton in its own episode. Go listen to that. But this movie just really is really, really good. The biggest thing isn't even exactly special effects or the action, but just merely the screenplay, the dialogue, everything about this character, this film really being the final true send-off to the X-Men franchise for Fox. This one is incredible. It's just absolutely perfect, emotionally raw, thematically rich. It's all beautiful and it's incredible. I can't talk about it enough. I yapped about this movie for like 40 minutes in its own episode, so there's not much else I need to say about it. And that might just do with this entire X-Men series. Yes, we did every single movie. Finally, we're finished. Ranked all of them for what's the best. Logan's number 1. Every single movie. But if we were including shows, I think that X-Men 97 might be the best X-Men thing ever. But you know, neither here nor there. A different debate for a different day, so I'll leave it until then. This is probably the last time I'll talk about X-Men for a very long time. Time for me to shift into something else. I'm not sure what, still kind of thinking about it. But until that day comes, we'll just kind of find out. You can listen to every single one of our X-Men films down below in the show notes. I linked every single one of them. All 14, I guess 15 and 16, including this one. This entire series has been very massive, very fun. One that I didn't think I would finish, but I somehow did. But hey, let me know what you want to see next in terms of series. I already know that next year for 2025, we're going to be doing a Superman series, also a Fantastic Four series. So that one will be a little bit more fun than this, but we'll have to see about it. Talking about later this year, we have Alien Romulus coming out. We had Trap from M. Night Shyamalan come out, which got very, very good reviews. About to go see it like right now. And also we have some other great films come out this year. Nosferatu, Arcane Season 2. Also, we have Gladiator 2 as well. A lot of great cinema coming out this year. You're not going to miss it. Right here, I'll be, really focusing on a broader area of things besides just X-Men movies. And until that day comes, you can catch us everywhere in all your podcast directories, on all of our socials down below in the show notes. And until the next time I see you, watch more movies, stay swagged out, stay cool. Maybe go see Trapped from M. Night Shyamalan. Heard a lot of good things about that. But until the next time I see you guys, stay swagged out, stay cool, watch more movies, and I'll see you guys in the movies.